My career's been a little bit bipolar, hasn't it? In a team like this, I need to get results, and that's what I need to. That's not me putting loads of pressure on myself again, but that's reality. But you would do anything to get back on another bike again, and it's something getting stronger. Like we look at Donington, HRC are there. There's a lot more to come, I think, from that. Do you know what my Tinder bio used to be? Just want my back tickled.
When the decision was made that you were going to come back at Donington, if you could rewind the clock, what decision would you make?
Definitely not the one that I made.
Hello and welcome to this week's show, proudly sponsored by ZeroFit, the world's warmest base layers. Our guest this week has overcome an incredible last 12 months, returning from a career-threatening injury to take his place on the Bennetts British Superbike grid for Honda Racing. 2024 sees a new challenge with a new teammate, a brand new bike, but he's relishing being back to full fitness and taking on the challenge of the season. That's Andrew Irwin. This is Off Track, the motorcycle racing podcast.
Honda Racing, Andrew Irwin. Welcome to Off Track, mate. How are you?
It's took you a while to get me on here, actually, Dave, but no, nice to be here. It's nice to do something like this. I'm probably a harder person to get to do podcasts, especially compared to my brother. So yeah, it's nice to do one.
It's because you keep turning me down.
My career's been a little bit bipolar, hasn't it?
It has.
Whenever I'm down, I'm down, and whenever I'm up, I'm up. And at the minute, I've worked really hard, especially recently, to try to stay mellow. It's something that Harwood always pushes, not push us, but to make sure that when the wave is high, you always stay calm, and I'm trying to work like that because it's been a difficult start to the season, and it's I feel like now we're starting to turn around. This is obviously the Friday of Knockhill, and hopefully after this weekend I have something to smile about.
Tell me about the journey. We'll talk about 2023 as we go through, because I think there's a hell of a story to tell because of how difficult it has been. It's not been the easiest of times, but I want to get to do that on a positive front as well, and what comes out of it. You know how these things work when they help me do this. Tell me how this season's unfolding first as we are 2024 and the new Fireblade.
2024, we went testing, I think February, March time, just with super stock bikes, me, Tommy, Dean and Jack. Dean was on the road racing superbike. We went to Andalusia for 2 or 3 days. I think it was 3 days. And honestly, I felt good. My body felt really good and everything was working quite well. Honestly, I've never been the fastest super stock rider, but I was quite competitive. Say if I compared to Tommy or to Dean, we weren't that far away. So that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence that everything is getting much closer to normal. Then we went to, was it Donington? We had a test at Donington. I think I was top 5 there. So pace was good, no stresses, happy, back in the flow a little bit. Went to Navarra, it was fantastic until the race weekend, and the race weekend came and I just crumbled a little bit. I think it's the easiest way of putting it. And yeah, I think now I understand why, and I would say I do understand why now. And it's been a difficult start. Donington, we started the show quite a lot of promise, especially in the last race. The last 2 races, on the Sunday, the 2 Sunday races. This first one on the Sunday, for like, let's say a normal person, they would have thought it wasn't a great race, but it was. Like qualified 8th then because of the lap time and how it works in BSB. You go off your race lap, qualified 8th and finished the race, I think 6th or 7th. But the pace was good. It was really good. It was really strong. But I was rusty. That's then when I realised I was like, I'm ring rusty. You know, when you're in the battle with the top guys, there's top 10 people in BSB, they're fast, they're not slow. And I was doing things that I would have done when I was trying to pass somebody when I was in 15th. Say on the Saturday race, when you try to pass, you can break 20 metres later, whereas doing that and I was going straight on, I went through the chicane twice and really lost 4 seconds. So that was a good turnaround. Then we've came here to Knockhill. I struggled loads in the wet, really, from being injured, to be honest, and came here. It's a track that I believe is a lot because of what happened in the past, and I feel now that I come here and I'm like, I want redemption, if that's the right word. Was decent in the wet today. 11th doesn't sound fantastic, but we didn't really put a lap in when we should put a lap in at the end, and it was red flagged. But in the dry, I felt decent as well. We only got 8 or 9 laps. I made a little small problem. I'm straight through to Q2 tomorrow. So I think this is Donington was the start of the turnaround, but for 2024, I think race through at Donington was the first step in the right direction, and now it's about continuing that. I'm not saying I'm going to win this weekend or be on the podium, but it's getting closer to that.
One thing that fascinates me, and you listen to the show, you know how we approach it with the riders. At the end of the day, you're human.
Yeah.
And you have the same feelings as me who sits here and talks about it, because I can't do it. But you still got a family, same as I have. Beautiful other half, same as mine. You're still just a regular fella that just has to do a really cool job. But you still suffer the same ups and downs, the same as Glenn, the same as any other rider. You still have those same emotions to go through, but a quite high pressure job at the same time. How have you adapted to that this year?
I think, honestly, I know that I ride for Honda. It's the factory Honda team in BSB. Har's been fantastic. He honestly hasn't put any pressure on me. He knew the extent of what I had, and never once has he been like, Andrew, you need to do this. He's actually the opposite. He says, stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Stop doing it. And I was putting so much pressure on myself that I probably stopped having fun. I was coming in and I was constantly like, I'm probably not the smiliest person, but I actually am happy. Do you know, like, I'm happy. I'm happy within myself. I'm happy. And he'd be like, smile. And I'm like, well, you know, not a lot to smile about, but he's like, smile, you know. And then sometimes you catch yourself on and it's like, I'm racing a motorbike, which was my childhood dream to do. You know, as he talked about it to my wife the other day, I was like, I just remember being in school and just being like, I'm going to race motorbikes. And I was rubbish. Like, I ridden motocross. I was a decent schoolboy motocross rider. Won on Northern Irishman motocross championships. When I came to road racing, I wasn't that good. But still in my head, I was like, I'm going to be good. I just believed in myself so much. And then sometimes as the years go on, you nearly eat yourself and you like eat away at it and you're like, I'm not good. Do you know, like, you're not, but not, I am. Do you know, I can still ride a motorbike, and that's something that I have inside that I know that I'll turn it around, and people will be like, yeah, you can. Because now I believe that I can, and I think that it will, over the next 8 rounds or whatever we have left, that will come good again, and it's about building back to there.
For a lot of our listeners and great viewers that are watching it, it's difficult to understand that a superbike rider living their dream, doing the Bennetts British Superbike Championship, can have what is essentially imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know, and it's so stupid. Do you know, like, I know that. Do you know, like, and like, you don't go from winning BSB races to, yes, some difficult years, but I've had quite a lot of glimpses of, like, that's not blowing smoke up my ass, but there has been glimpses that I can do it, still do it. And during last year, before I got injured, I honestly think that I was in a really good moment. I was just doing silly things on track. You know, especially Donington was a disaster if I look back at 23. But every track I went to, I was fast. You know, I had proper raw speed. But it's just maturing it, or I don't know if that's the right word, maturing or whatever. But for me, it's maybe I'm going about it a slightly different way, where I'm coming through, going forwards, instead of going boom there. I think I'm taking stepping stones.
I have imposter syndrome doing this.
Yeah, no, for sure. When you do a mega job, you know.
Thank you. I wasn't fishing, but thank you.
Yeah, so it's probably the same as most riders won't admit. You know, like, because we're confident, we're this, we're the best. But I think Tommy's in next door. He's getting physio, probably the exact same. You know, for sure, he's had difficult moments in his career, and he's a British champion and riding fantastic. He's showing how good the Honda package is, and Dean Harrison, TT podiums, Northwest 200 podiums, and super stock bike and against superbikes. Shows how good our Honda Fireblade is.
It's the whole situation for 2024 hasn't been easy for the team, and it's not an avenue I'm going to go down, because that's not why we're here. But with the difficulties to the start of the season and the recovery from injury, what's been your biggest motivation for 2024?
Biggest motivation is I don't want to do a normal job. But I love doing this. You know, I actually got the boat over on Wednesday, and it's sometimes you realise it's like, you know, my wife comes over, I've got an 18-month-old son, Ezra, and we do it as a family. Do you know, like, we stay in Norway, we have fun. Yeah, he's the craziest kid that you'll ever meet. He makes a mess of hospitality. Har's probably secretly freaking out and enjoyed it, but I love that. So he's here, he's getting to come to my job with me. Like, what other job Do you get bring your kids with you? Bring your wife with you. Do you know, that doesn't happen anywhere else.
Nope.
And I love doing it. I love getting to spend my time here. And I love doing this. That's what I'm obsessed with motorbikes, but I'm not just obsessed with racing. I'm obsessed with everything. I'm like, I watch World Superbikes, I watch MotoGP, I watch the TT, I watch FP1, FP2, I watch everything. Do you know, sometimes I actually think I'm going to like analyse on Twitter, like write on Twitter. Do you know, like there's certain... I follow certain people on Twitter, do you like, who write the comments, say, from each race. I always like, I'm listening to it and I'm like, I analyse everything. I'm like, just way too much probably, but I'm just obsessed with motorbikes. I've got an obsession, and my main obsession is that I want to win again. And I think if I start winning races again, then everything else will unfold. But I also know that it's 2024. I've not had the best start of the season. I've not had the best couple of years. I'm not going to keep winging it until I start getting results. And for me to keep carrying on in a team like this, I need to get results. And that's what I need to... That's not me putting loads of pressure on myself again, but that's reality. I need to get the results to keep doing this job.
Sometimes it's a help, sometimes it's a hindrance, depending on your personal outlook. You've got the number one plate across the other side of the garage, stuck it on the podium. How do you view that in terms of your performance and what the Honda Fireblade is capable of?
Honestly, I take it as a massive positive, because I know Tommy's riding in a really strong way. He's a British champion, he's got a number one plate. He's not just a British champion, but he is a 3-time vice British champion, I believe. And I've raced against him before whenever I've been in good moments, and I've been as fast as him. You know, in 2018 when we both ran V-twin Ducatis, I was in the PBM bike, he was on the Moto Rapido bike. I was fast straight away against him. He probably wasn't in the best moment of his career. He was reigniting it. You know, he was reigniting his career. That's what turned it around. And I think for me it's a massive positive. I love having him in the garage. I get on with him 100%. We've absolutely no problems, because that's another thing that I get asked every now and then. And you know, we talk away. We were away a few weeks ago. You know, we have a bit of crack, and I think that's important as well. But it's not just that. I get to see his data. You know, he's the British champion. Who else data do you want to look at in this paddock than the guy that's winning British championships? And I can improve. I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm the best, just in a bad moment. I know that I need to get better, and to get better I need to learn, and I need to work hard on it. I work on myself. I look at his data, I see what he's doing, and it's not just like, oh yeah, Tommy's half a second faster today. Oh yeah, no, I'll be faster tomorrow. You study it and you understand it, and so for me it's a massive positive, especially when things are difficult, to have a teammate that's doing a good job. Yes, it can be like a little bit head frown, because he's winning and a lot of attention, but I try not to look at that. I look at it as in a positive way.
I spoke to Richie Cooper a couple of weeks ago, and we spoke about fatherhood and the effect that that's had on him as a racer. Now, Coops is much older than you, like maybe a third older, than where you are at the moment. And he's in a different part of his career. But how has that changed you as a person, of having the family with you now, and the young family, and having that beautiful distraction outside of motorcycle racing?
It's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Came at a mega time. December 22, as I was born. And that winter going into 23, I worked so hard, but I had a distraction. A good distraction, because sometimes you overthink the thing, like you overthink the job. And whereas this time, and you know what it's like, you have kids and it's hard, especially you have Shannon's at home. It's just me, Shannon, and Ezra. Of course, my family's fantastic, and you sit and you're like, yeah, Ezra's not sleeping great at night time. Shannon goes to bed. I support her, and anyone that has kids know that if you leave your wife to do absolutely everything, or your partner to do absolutely everything, they'll hit the wall. And it's like, as a motorbike rider, we have to sleep. Like the week before a race, I make sure I sleep, and that's selfish. We are selfish. We're probably the most selfish people that you'll ever meet, but it definitely changed my outlook. Now I do it not just for me, I do it for Ezra's future. I want to have a nice house. I want him to have a nice future. I want him to have a nice nice way of living. And I try not to spoil him. I want him to know that to become successful, you have to work at it. He's motorbike obsessed. He's only 18 months, and I know everyone say, "Oh, motorbike," but he genuinely is motorbike obsessed. And I've tried really hard not to push him in the bikes by like watching bikes all the time or whatever. But like he was at my mum and dad's a couple of weeks ago. I was away, Shem was working, and they were running by the garden, so I just they weren't looking after him. But they had like dandered off, went into the shed. There's PW50. And my brother walks in and Ezra's just on top of it. And he knows the throttle, he knows everything. He's just kind of being brought up around it. But I want him to know that nothing comes easy, and what we're doing isn't normal. For a normal motorbike rider, we've had to work super hard to get here. So having a kid definitely makes you work harder, and you're doing it not just for yourself, but you're doing it for you and your family.
You look at Glenn with Freddie, and if your cousin's going to be doing it, your uncles have both raced at great levels with Graham and with Glenn, and Grandad wasn't too shabby either. So it's in the blood, isn't it? I
think it's in the blood, 100%. It's in his blood. He's born to race, and that's the thing. You know, like, not that he's born to race. That sounds so wrong, but if it's like with me, I'm the youngest of my brothers. My brothers were all riding motorbikes, so it was like, if your brothers playing football, you'll kick a football. If your brothers are riding motorbikes, you'll probably ride motorbikes, and that's the thing. But I don't want him to race, to be absolutely honest. But if he wants to, I'll 100% support him. But I'll not be a motocross dad whatsoever. And you can always, in 5-10 years time, I'm in the motocross track, and you see me being a motocross.
This
dad,
is going to be out there forever.
You said you're never going to be. You said because that's why I was lucky in my career. Not in my career, but when I was younger, my dad was the complete opposite of a motocross dad. As long as we were having fun and trying, he was happy. My mum was probably harder than my dad, but because she's like, "Oh, you're wasting all this money and they're not doing any good." But my dad, I think because he had raced, he got it. And you see it all the time. You see kids that their dad puts this massive pressure on. They don't become successful because they're sick of it. As soon as the kid's big enough to stand up to his dad, then the dad thinks, "Oh yeah, okay, off you go, son."
We see it in this paddock.
Yeah, you see it in this paddock.
See it all the time.
Yeah, I go ride motocross, and you see some dads, and I'm thinking, "Mate, you're doing my head, and I'm not big enough to say anything." So yeah, your son's doing that, but lay off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that leads me on to a great little segue, because I sat down with Jamie Robinson earlier in the week. Great 250 GP rider. The show I think will go out after this one, and he talks about losing the enjoyment of racing and being happy in what he's doing. You've come back from a potentially career-threatening injury to work your metaphorical bollocks off to even get back on track after the broken humerus. How far away are you from enjoying it fully? Or are you enjoying it fully?
Honestly, the first 2.5 rounds, I didn't. I hated it. You know, you think, I've sacrificed all winter. Joe, you eat like a rabbit. You know, you do everything. You train your ass off. You do absolutely everything. And you get the first round, I think I got a point. I was like, what am I doing? You're like, what am I doing? You're like, you go away, you're away for 8 days. Like, what am I doing? You know, and you're like, I hate it. You know, it sounds stupid. Everyone has bad days in work, but we only have 11 weekends really. Of course we have tests and everything else, but the weekends are the work. You know, like, it's like studying before your work, isn't it? The tests and that there. And I think, what is going on? Went to Olton, where I nearly was on the podium at the first round of Olton in 23. Thought, yeah, I'll turn it around, everything will be fine. It was another disaster really, and I was shocked in there, and I was like, what is going on, Johnny? And you just see your career crumbling down in front of you. And that's just being realistic. You just see it. I'm riding for Honda. My teammate's on the podium, and I'm battling for a point. You know, like, it's like, come on. And then after Donington, I went and seen a sports psychologist. Done it in the past, and I've done it in the past. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and it's a new thing that I'm doing now, and I feel like I've got a much better outlook. I feel much better about myself and about everything, because if you've done something before, it's like if you've got 100% in your maths test when you were 15 or I don't know, whatever, GCSEs, whatever, you got 100% in that. 2 years later, you get 80% in it. There's no reason why you can't go back and get 100% if you work hard to do that. And it's just it's your mindset, it's everything. And yeah, I think I'm genuinely happy. I'm enjoying it. And it's not just that. See when racing's going bad, you're hard to live with, you're miserable, you train harder, you eat less, and you just go into this hole. So it's trying to get out of that, you know. And to be fair, I have a mega trainer, a girl, Lindsay, that lives, I've known her my whole life. She lives 2 miles from where I live, so it's perfect. And she knows like how much I punish myself, and probably got the right person there now with her that kind of makes sure that I'm doing the right thing and not overdoing it as well. So yeah, I feel like, it's starting to come around.
That's really pleasing to hear.
Yeah.
Because you can't go any faster until you're happy.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I've never done what you do, but I understand it to the point, to the furthest point that I can without doing it.
It's like a car salesman. I don't buy and sell a few vans and stuff as well. And
Side hustle.
A little side hustle. And do you know, like if you can't sell, or say you've been like van salesman of the month, and then the next minute it just goes crap. It's like you try to change. I'm not changed anything. You're in a bad period, aren't you? Next month you can be back at being the best van salesman of the month again. And that's the way life goes. You know, for us it's by results and motorbike. For the person selling the vans, it's about selling vans. For me, I'm lucky that is a genuine hobby. This is my job. And but that's the same with the podcast. You can get the right words out, or you can, you know, it's the exact same thing. And no matter what your job is, there's always times that it'll be difficult. Nobody can say every day works easy. And there's normally more hard days than good days. And especially in motorbike race, there's definitely more bloody hard days than good days, and there has been the past few years.
But he's chasing that feeling. This is something else that Jamie said. It's once you have that winning feeling, that is all you can focus on, because nothing replaces that feeling.
Yeah, it's an addiction. We're addicted to that feeling. And there's probably, I don't know, 30 BSB riders that we have in the grid, and all 30 of us have felt it at some period. And we're all trying to chase it again. There's only one winner in each race, you know, and that's I think that's the thing with me. It's like, yes, I want to win, but it's try to win my mini goals. Do you know, like top 10, that's a win at the minute. You know, if I've been 15th, the top 10, honestly, would I be happy? Probably not so happy, but it's like try to win them mini goals first, and then you keep winning them, and then you build yourself back up. Because if you set the goal too high, then you're never happy. And you always go like this, whereas the mini goal, then the chain starts coming up and you start to get back.
The aggregation of marginal gains.
Exactly.
It's all it needs.
Yep.
It sounds really easy, but when you're in that position, and I've been there with relationship, with work, we all suffer the same kind of things. And when somebody says, oh yeah, do you know what? Sun still shines tomorrow.
Yeah.
You go, yeah, it does, but that doesn't help me right now.
Yeah.
But then you go away and you think, maybe they were right.
Yeah.
And it's like, is what's bothering you now going to be important in half an hour?
Exactly.
And most of the time, it isn't.
But you know what,
that's the finding that happens.
And somebody says to you, you could be in worse places in the world. Well, this is where I am now, and this is exactly what's happening. And you feel like saying, would you ever shut up? But they're right. Do you know, like, because you're so angry and you're so frustrated. And then it's like somebody's trying to tell you the right thing, but you're so frustrated and there's so much anger within yourself. You're like, you feel crap. But genuinely, you'll walk away and be like, they're right. Do you know?
Never in the history of being told to cheer up has anybody cheered up.
Yeah, exactly. Smile, would you?
Smile, there's worse things happening. But there isn't. This is my world. And it is as a superbike rider or any motorcycle or any of the support classes, because you all feel the same feelings, you're just in different classes and at different stages, that it is the single most important thing in your life at that point. And if it's not going right, it's everybody's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Go home and kick the metaphorical cat.
And it's like, for sure, like Donington, for instance, in qualifying, I was like, I can't stop. I pressed the button for the engine brake, put the engine brake on a different mode, and I couldn't stop because the engine brake was so weak. But it was me that pressed the button, but I was livid. I was like, well, as you felt Rodri, the electronics guy, I was like, so sorry for probably because I give him a proper
The
bit of
most
attitude.
mild-mannered bloke
100%.
in the whole of the team.
100%. It was, yeah, Rodri is the calmest guy. He's an awesome guy. But I was giving him so much crap, but it was really me. Yeah. Trying to look on data, and he was probably like scared to say to me. But I was like, Andrew, you can press the button. And I done it this morning again here. But I actually came in and I was like, can't stop this morning. Just don't know what it was. And I actually have a thing, my dash that says check map. But because we hadn't been here in a little bit, and yeah, I was just thought it was me and not the bike. But yeah, it was me that chose the button. But hey, that's, I mean, the tires knew you definitely don't want to press that button. But yeah, that's the joys of it.
It happens. And do you know what the great thing is? Look at you, you smile.
Yeah, exactly. And you know,
brilliant.
I feel good. Do you know, like you touched on it earlier, I've came back from my bone hanging out, turn 1 here. 12 months later, I feel good, I feel happy, and that's a distant memory, and now it's time to change what is my last memory at Knockhill. Let's try to leave it with a smile instead of an ambulance.
Zero Fit, the king of base layers, are worn by Bennetts British Superbike riders Glenn Irwin, Andrew Irwin and Lee Jackson. And as proud sponsors of this show, Zero Fit are offering you a free thermal beanie with every base layer purchased. It's really simple. All you have to do is scan this QR code and enter OT24 when you check out. Thank you, and back to the show.
One of my go-to questions for anybody that's come back through serious injury, what have you found out about yourself in that time?
How much motorbikes means to me. I think a lot of us suffer with it. Not suffer with it, but I struggle not having something to look forward to. So I knew that I got up every morning, I went to the oxygen chamber, every single morning, oxygen chamber. Then I wasn't allowed to drive, so Shan dropped me off in the Belfast, which in rush hour is probably like an hour from my house. And with no rush hour, it's 15-20 minutes. So dropped me off in Belfast. I got the oxygen chamber, I think it was like 90 minutes or something, I can't remember exactly. Then I had to have at least a 2-hour break. So I would sit in Belfast in front of like the town, city hall, whatever you call it, sit there if it was sunny for 2 hours, just thinking, right, okay, 2 hours to go, keep looking at your phone, 5 minutes go by. I was like, what? This is driving me crazy. And I'd done that solid for probably 2.5-3 months. That I was able to drive then, but Shannon, for the first month anyway, Shannon dropped me off. I went to the oxygen chamber, waited 2 hours, went back in the oxygen chamber for another 90 minutes. That is so mentally draining. You get in an oxygen chamber and you look at a tank for 90 minutes, fry your head for 90 minutes, get out for 2 hours, think, what am I going to do? Walking around Belfast for 2 hours, get back in for 90 minutes and fry your head for another 90 minutes, looking at the sky. But you would do anything to get back on a motorbike again. And for sure, the injury is probably a lot worse than what people realised it was, because I don't need to go into the details of it. But I'd done everything that I could to get back. I came back still too early. I came back and the doctor said, Andrew, you can ride a bike. Probably, yeah, there's riding a bike and there's racing a bike, and there's strength. You know, my bicep was like my baby finger. Yeah, I'm probably having more strength in my baby finger than I did in my arm, and yeah, that's what. To go back to the question, what did I realise about being off? It's how much I love racing motorbikes. I enjoyed coming and doing the TV thing with you before. I didn't really think that was something that I would have liked. And whenever they first mentioned it to me, I was like, no. And then I thought, forget, I'll do it. And I did do it. And I actually did enjoy that, because I think I pay a lot of attention to what's actually happening during a race, or you understand a little bit from a racer. So I enjoyed that, but nothing replaces racing a motorbike.
And neither should it at this point in time.
Yeah, exactly.
Until, fingers crossed, you decide when and it's not the decision made for you, which it nearly was.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed the input on Eurosport, because it was, the boys are great. We all know the boys are great. They've all ridden at the highest level and they're fantastic. To have that up-to-date view of a British Superbike, who's literally just unfortunately hopped off one, a bit like Shaky when he came back in at the Cadwell at the end of 18. All right, you haven't got the old neck brace, thankfully. But to have that up-to-date view, I think I know for a fact the boys were so impressed with, because sometimes you're not a cameraman. Yeah. You're not in front of the cameraman.
Yeah, I'm not in your face.
No, you enjoy your racing. You've got your bigger brother to do that. Yeah. He takes enough for everybody. We know what Glenn's like. He's brilliant.
That's what I always say.
He thrives on it.
He loves that, but he also definitely doesn't watch motorbikes as much as me. So I would say I'm a motorbike encyclopedia. I'm obsessed.
And that
love it.
It was brilliant to see, because you can see the nuances.
Joe Phil Wayne, and I'm like the young Phil
Yes,
Wayne.
Exactly right. Phil was for the
Except I don't write everything down. It's just all in my head, and what I know from it in my head. That's the.
For those that are watching and listening, Phil Wayne is a great fella. He's a huge family history in the sport, and he knows all the stats of BSB. He's just departed Bike Sport News, hasn't he?
Yeah, that. So, yeah.
But he
does PBMs,
press releases. Yeah, he does. Yeah, and he was in the comms box at the TT with Steve and Whit, doing it on TT Plus. But he used to do pub ammo.
Oh.
Every Wednesday before a BSB round came in.
Yes,
it was the history of everything that happened on that circuit.
A certain 100th race again, and the last Honda once in
exactly that, and that was all Phil Wayne and through the late great Dave Miller of Bike Sport News. Very sadly missed, great fella, and to not have that anymore. He's going to be really. He needs to set up a website or something, because for writing press releases,
he believe in himself that he can do it on his own. I know he works for Larry Carter, but
he does. He puts a program together with him as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he is that smart, isn't he? Yeah, I'm not saying Phil doesn't believe in himself, but he maybe, just like what we were talking about earlier, he probably needs to realise how good he actually is at what he does.
I find it difficult to do that with a lot of people.
Yeah,
because there are the odd ego in it, and not ego. There are extreme self-confidences in this paddock. You don't have that.
Yeah,
I don't have that. And you sometimes sit there and think, why are you sat here talking to me?
Yeah.
Why are we doing? You guys listening, watching, why? But
we do it for I think the thing is, like, you have to realize also is that, you have people click on your show on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, Apple Podcasts, whatever. There's other ones available, isn't there?
Absolutely. There's other podcasts available and other great podcasts available,
People tune in because they want to listen, and you provide them a platform, and it's I think that's the thing with racing motorbikes. People come to watch motorbikes.
Yeah.
We give entertainment.
Blows my mind.
Well. Yeah, and
absolutely blows my mind.
You're entertaining people by people listening. They probably got bored by now.
Nah, the guests are the entertainment. What's how long now before we see 100% full bore Andrew Irwin?
I think I've thought this quite a lot recently. Knockhill, we hopefully this weekend we continue to make steps. Friday's been decent. Saturday, Sunday we continue to go steps in the right direction. I think then we go to Snetterton. I have a test at Snetterton in a couple of weeks as well. Got to come back early from holiday because Harv messed up the dates, but it's fine. It's the first time ever.
Stick that one in there. Thanks, Harv.
No, he has to take a shot. It's not me. And so that should put us on the front foot at Snetterton, because that's where you're lucky when you ride for a team like this, that we do have a good budget. There's no hiding that. We do probably more testing than anybody else. And we're fortunate that we get to go there. So that I think that'll help. I've always been quite competitive there. We go to Brands. I've always been very competitive. We then go to Thurston, where I've been very, very good, I think. I won there in 2019 on a bike that most people said would never win a race. Beat Scott Redden, who was on his peak on a bike at the time, which I think everyone knows it won like 20 races out of 24 races.
Just say that again.
I beat Scott Redden that weekend. He's on a V4 Ducati, and my bike was a Honda from 2019 Honda, but it definitely wasn't the same as that. I think it was only me and a couple of the Yamahas, a couple of Yamaha wins that year. Maybe Buck and Wade one here, maybe. So yeah, to me that was. I'm looking forward to Thruxton. I tried to treat every race the same, but we go there to Thruxton, then we go to Cadwell, which is a track that for sure we'll test that before because it's on this little track. So that should be a good weekend. And I think really so to answer that, I don't know exactly, but what I do know is that I'm making progress, and the best version of Andrew Irwin is still to come, is what my honest answer is. And that's better than I've ever been. I think that will all click and it will all come together, and I'll keep chasing this dream for another few years yet.
The one thing that fascinates me about this season, what yourself, Dean, and Tommy are doing to develop the 2024 Honda Fireblade. Traditionally, Honda have gone well at Donington. They've gone well at Snetterton. The more flowing corners. So with Snet to come, with Brands to come, with Thruxton to come, testing at Cadwell, a return to Alton Park, a return to Donington, getting stronger and happier each time, and then a final at Brands. After this weekend, there's an incredible run of circuits that you have a huge opportunity to make your mark.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that's I probably knew at the start of the year that the season maybe might not start in the best way. Just because you always say, oh yeah, I'm coming back from injury, it'll be fine. You miss so much in that time. Joe, your wife goes on maternity, or your husband takes maternity, whatever. Then they go back to work. It takes time, It takes time to get back. It's not as if you go back to work. There's training days for a reason. You're like, oh, you can back to work days and this and that. And that's for a reason. It's the same in this job. People just don't see it. So you have this time off and you're expected to go back to 100%. To be honest, Harv didn't expect me to go back. I did, and I put so much pressure on myself to do that. And it's only now when I look back that, say not to make excuses, but yeah, I expected too much, and then the results were even worse because I was putting so much pressure on myself. I was down, I wasn't happy, I wasn't enjoying it. Whereas if I had to come in and be like, right, let's just enjoy these first few rounds and then start to build, I'd probably be in a slightly better position than I am now. And also I would have enjoyed the first couple of rounds, whereas I didn't. So I think that's kind of the position that I'm in, that I think I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this moment. I'm thankful for the opportunities that I have. Thankful to be here in this team. And I don't just say that because I ride for them. I do love riding in this team, and I always try to ride here in 2019 and 2020. I loved it. Went away for a couple of years, as he was talking to you just before we started this, with Phil Neal, mega guy. Just had an absolutely fantastic TT. Absolutely delighted for him and Hector. And Philip, my relationship is really good. But I came back to Honda and I just love being here, and that's I don't want it to end. I just want to show what I can do and get on the crack of it. But it's like you say, with our package, we have a new 24 bike this year. It's more different than what people realise, I think, from the previous model. And it's something getting stronger. Like we look at Donington, HRC are there. There's a lot more to come, I think, from that. And I honestly think that whenever you bring out a new bike, that bike progresses faster than some of the other bikes. So I do think we're going to make a step closer to, I think now it's already a really good package, but I do think that we are going to keep improving and improving. I think when we go to Snetterton, we have some more material to come, and that's also an exciting time, because the bike now is not super fancy for a superbike, but it's only going to get better.
Cast your mind back to Donington last year. But sorry, pre-Donington, when you made the decision, came back at Donington. Did he come back at Alton?
Came back at Donington. Yeah, I got to ride at Alton for like 15, 20 minutes with the pathway.
Oh, you're on the pathway bike, weren't you? That's right, on the Saturday tea time. Yeah. In that, when the decision was made that you were going to come back at Donington, if you could rewind the clock, what decision would you make? Definitely
not the one that I made. And Harv tells me straight away, he knows this as well. And the thing is that I came back that weekend, and the annoying thing is that the weather was so up and down, and I did not want to crash. I also crashed at Craner, and I thought, okay, I've got away with this one. And I didn't finish the race. It was embarrassing. I've never pulled out a race in my life, and yeah, that was when I knew that I came back too early. But I came back, and then I was like, right, Brands should be a bit better. And I did. I think one race was okay. Maybe I came 12th or 13th or something. But I used to, Joe, like, it's things that you don't even realise. Say like at Hawthorne, you go into Hawthorne, which people who don't know Brands is the first right-hander of the big track. Say quite a big Paul's corner. I was going into Hawthorne, and I was like, right, okay. And then you like, as you come out of Hawthorne, you'll go right a little bit and then left, because it stops the wheelie.
Yep.
But as I was going right to go left, I had no strength. I was like, so I was riding this if I was on the road, I just go, warp, warp. I wasn't able to go, whoa, and then they set myself up for that next try. I'm not sure. Maybe
Westfield.
Westfield. Westfield. 30s is
then down the hill.
Yeah, Dingledale.
Sheen.
Yeah,
Surtees.
you know, you know them better than me. And then I knew.
No, drunk Sterling's.
Yeah.
Surtees is at the back of.
But it's
Is it back
the
of the pits?
left-hander, isn't it? Yeah,
That's
before,
it.
yeah.
So Sterling's.
Yeah. So there was another disaster. That was another waste of time. But then we went testing to Jerez. No, we went to Portimao, and then we went to Jerez in December, just after Tommy had signed. This is one of the positives of him coming. When he came, he got the test before the new season, so he was there, or we got the test then, and that I knew then that I was improving. And I was pretty fast there actually as well, and going in the right direction. So then I knew that my arm was getting better, but if I had to give myself more time, it would have been even better, really. But hey, we're motorbike racers, and sometimes you rush the job. If I was to say to anybody else coming back from an injury, I would say, nah, they'll come back too early.
It's never the easiest thing to do, not for anybody. We have a Patreon scheme that we have on the show. If you'd like to join our Patreon scheme, links are in the description below, both on audio and on the video. Here it is. We have 3 questions from our patrons. I'll put it out before the weekend in the hope that we'd be sitting down doing this. Phil Mayhew would love to know how you think you've matured during your time in BSB and learned when there's a gap and when there's very much not a gap. As when you first came to the series, you were something of a rough diamond, shall we say. So how do you think you've matured since 2018?
Do you know how I know I matured? I'm not saying the guy's name because I'm not like that. I'm not at Donington a couple of weeks ago in the race. Somebody passed me and I thought, do you know what, mate? You just remind me of me a few years ago. He passed me going into, I've not even spoken to him about it, passed me going into McLean's, or no, not McLean's,
Coppice, yeah.
And quite a hard place to pass at the best times. On the first lap when everyone's wheeled away.
Yep. And
not in like an excuse way, but I was like, right, I've got McConnell hit me into T1, so I was a little bit further back, okay. I think. And then I was playing catch up, but he also passed me. And
throw Billy under the bus anyway.
No, it wasn't Billy.
No, but the early bit.
Yeah, but I don't care. That's reason. He didn't mean to. I like Billy. He's a good guy. And,
super bloke.
We were going in and he passes me. Can't remember who's ahead of me, and I just thought, oh, that was close. And I was like, you know what? I used to do passes like that and be like 80% of the time you go down or you take the person from out, and 20% you thought, oh, that was mega. And it just reminded me completely of that. I followed him for a lap or two, and he was so erratic. And I was like, if you take one step back, you'll go 2 steps forwards. And I think that's kind of, I'm not saying perfect whatsoever. No. I'm definitely not. But I do think that's when I knew I'd matured, only a couple of weeks ago.
What? It's quite a recent thing, which is great.
But I had a disaster at Donington last year. So, definitely in 12 months from what I'd done to then, I thought, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you for that, Phil. What a great question. That actually reminds me of advice I got when I first started driving.
Yeah.
If you're going to drive like a dickhead, I guarantee by the law of averages, at some point you are going to meet yourself coming the other way.
Yeah.
And I've never forgotten that.
I know, I've never heard that before, but it's 100% true. Yeah.
You drive like a dickhead, speeding, wrong side of the road.
Some guy will be coming over the hill doing the same thing.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
No. So that was something I learned in the early. Geralt Ellis, I do enjoy this question. If you were organising a race, channeling your inner Stuart Higgs, where would it be? What bike would they be on? Because they're all on the same bike. And 5 riders, past or present, to race it.
I think a Honda 500 t-shirt.
Yep.
Would be, is it an NSR 500?
The NSR 500 would eat it.
I rid 125s and it was crap on them, so I've never rid a t-shirt since. So maybe a bigger one I'd be better on. I'd have me, Joey Dunlop, Valentino Rossi, 5, right? Me, Joey Dunlop, Valentino Rossi. Probably stick Glenn in there because just have to beat him for bragging rights.
It's just for entertainment. But. And
the 5th one, Danny Bucking, is, you know what, he's a mega guy. And we've both been struggling lately. And he always waves at me whenever we've been like on the 6th row of the grid. He's waving at me and I just think, John, great guy. And he's another one with so much talent. Probably, struggling a little bit. he's been better this weekend. So yeah, maybe we'll both rise to the top together.
I like that. I do the VIP chats for Dow Racing and Completely Motorbikes, and it's been a tough chat.
Yeah, it's hard.
This side of the season with Danny.
See, whenever I was teammates with Danny in 21 and 22, I was like a little bit up and down, and he was mega. There's not many people I could get changed with and then go to battle. Like at Brown's at the end of the year, we battled to win the race at the end of 22. Glenn won and I was second, Danny was third. But 5 minutes before that race, we were probably getting on like 2 idiots in the back of the truck. Like I'm the type of person I can talk to absolutely everyone and anyone, but not many people have that same kind of thing to do together. And he never once tried to get in your head. He never once tried to do anything. He was like, had your back. Danny's a good guy. He's one of them like people that, yeah.
Couldn't agree more. I enjoy spending time with his company. What was the circuit?
What was the circuit? I actually have been to Phillip Island before in 2018 and I only got like 10 laps before I broke my hand, so I'd like to go back there. 500 two-stroke, mega racing. Jeremy Williams, bring him for the crack because he was the last 500 pole at Phillip Island.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
So last 250.
No, a 500 pole, and he out-qualified the 4-strokers. Yeah.
Oh, he did?
He did, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mind bad,
Yeah.
Should never question your knowledge, mate. You've already proven that. This is a huge... Bearing in mind where we are and what you're wearing, this might be a really difficult question to answer from one of our great supporters, Mick Strickland. If a second Ducati was added to the PBM team next year, would you be interested in joining Glenn?
And if you want an honest answer, I think the 24 Honda is really good and it's only going to get stronger. I've already said in this podcast I would love to continue here. But honestly, of course, PBM, they're the most successful team in BSB and you have to respect them. But I'm happy where I am. And that's just being a straight honest answer that, of course, I have loads of time for PBM, loads and loads of time for Paul Bird. He gave me my first opportunity in 2018 and I used to text him every Christmas and say, Paul, I wouldn't be where I am without you. When you gave me that opportunity to show what I could do in a BSB bike, I was probably lost in World Super Sport. Not lost, but I was riding not the best bike at the time. And
that place in all its cracked up a bit.
And yeah, exactly. And Paul gave me an opportunity and I always say that without him, I definitely wouldn't be where I am. And yeah, literally just talking about it to physio before I done this, and one of the best guys in racing, and put so much money into it, and it's absolutely fantastic to see Jordan Frank doing the same thing.
Excuse me 1 second, because I've forgotten to get these out. Because you know what's coming next. This is where we get to start to wrap up the show, mate. Thank you for this. It's been absolutely superb. Pick odds or evens?
Odds or evens. I'm number 18, so I'll go with bloody evens.
A lot do. What's the one thing you wish you'd enjoyed more?
Probably the first half of my career, I think, because I think the first half of my career is where I've got to now, and I think I'm going into the next half, and hopefully it's going to be better. So I think when I look back, that I've had some great moments, but I should have enjoyed them more.
Who do you admire most from another sport?
Admire most from another sport? I don't massively into anything else Southern motorbikes. Anyone that works hard. And not even like just in sport, in business, if they sound like a snob in business, but
no,
if you work hard at something, you have the right attitude. Somebody with the right attitude. I don't care who you are, what you are. If you work on the street and you're happy, then that sounds stupid. If you work in the street, not like a woman or something that works in the street. I don't mean like that, but like
I knew what you meant.
So whatever your job
you work
is,
on the street, not working the street.
Yeah, work on the street. If you're happy and you put 100% commitment,
like if you work in the street, it doesn't matter.
John, there's loads of guys in this team with good job satisfaction. There's somebody that's proud of doing what they're doing. They work hard and they're happy doing it.
That is uncanny.
Yeah.
Because Tommy said exactly the same thing last night.
Yeah. Anybody
who works hard, gets to the top of their profession, deserves respect from everybody.
Yeah.
Fascinating answer. When was the last time you changed your opinion on something or someone?
Last time I changed my opinion, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Thought someone was an asshole and they actually gave me the time of day, and I thought, you know what, you're a good guy.
Excellent. I'm not going to ask who, because that might be a little close to home. Pre-Shannon, what was your best chat line?
I've always Friday Cheeser. What was my best shout out line? Do you know what my Tinder bio used to be? just want my back tickled. Is your seeing my bio? Like, yeah, absolutely horrific. But yeah, that was my bio.
You've just given me the title for the show.
Just want my back tickled. And Joe, I still love getting my back tickled. God help Shannon, so I can't bed really take my back face. So news, I've told her about that bio before. So I'm like, I don't get in trouble for that.
No, exactly not. I know. I wouldn't expect you would. Who's the most famous person in your phone?
Most famous. I've been asked this a couple of times recently. Probably there, just play for Man United, an Irish footballer. It was actually just at his wedding on Saturday. Cal Crutch, though, he's married to my cousin, but has been a massive part of my career. Probably them too.
Is Lucy everybody's cousin?
She's mine.
Not Jonathan Ray's cousin as well?
No. She used to go out with John.
Oh, that was it.
Yes.
I knew there was some connection somewhere. I knew there was something like that.
Go out with John.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Yeah.
I knew there was a connection. I don't mind. I'm not shy. It's all right. Who is your celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush, Michelle Keegan.
Yeah. Okay. Happy with that?
I always have. Like, whenever I was a kid, I used to watch Coronation Street and I used to fancy her. And then, it's just, you can't say she's not good looking, is she?
Is it always between her and Sammy Agadi? What was her
What's her real name?
No, that is her real name. What was the character? I can't remember.
I don't know her.
You do, because you've watched it. She's been on it for years, but I can't remember her character.
For sure, Michelle Keegan is...
Yeah, that'll do.
She's the one.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
You're in the car.
Yeah.
Or the van that you sell.
Yeah.
Music's up to 11.
Yeah.
What are you listening to?
Country pop. Literally, I'm not a massive music fan, but I love... When I go running, I don't listen to like motivation or anything. I've got so much motivation, I actually need to try to rein it back a little bit. And 2024 country pop top hits.
Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs.
Yes, something along those lines. Yeah, exactly.
Jordan Davis.
Yeah, probably.
Bailey Zimmerman.
You know me, to be honest, I'd probably crap at names. So if somebody started singing the song, I'd be like, yeah, I've listened to that about 20 times.
We went to see Bailey Zimmerman a couple of weeks ago.
Fantastic.
Absolutely superb.
Right.
If you could jump into a pool of anything, what would it be?
A pool of anything, what would it be? Luck, I think. Luck's good, isn't it? Luck.
What a fucking great answer.
Yeah, part of luck. I'm going to be honest. There's someone who say, money. But money doesn't necessarily bring you happiness.
Couldn't agree more.
No, I used to do a normal job and I had the same fun. Not that I love racing motorbikes, but I'd make a bit more money now than what I did whenever I was on minimum wage. And you just, all you need to spend more money, isn't it?
Money helps,
more
but fun
skills.
comes from here.
Yeah, exactly. Fun comes from here, and if your head's happy, you're happy. And that's me being honest. And I'm quite a simple person. I'm not flash. Don't buy anything expensive, really. And not even really. I don't. But probably a few years ago, I would have wasted money on fancy shoes and things like that. Whereas now I don't. I've got a son. I'd rather save the money and invest it somewhere or do something like that. But that's part of that.
2 questions to finish off, then you can go back to your beautiful family. Favorite corner and why?
Church at Thruxton, because I don't know, I've just always been good at it, probably because it's 140, 150 mile an hour in the middle. And I'll go around it faster than somebody for some daft reason. And then, I love it.
And the final question, what's your best hire car story?
Do you want me to tell you what the best hire car story is?
Look how settled you got. Talk about body language. That's body language. It's like, here we go.
2020, motorhome guy left the motorhome. And BSB one came up, Andrew, move your hire car. I was like, BSB, they're fantastic, just do their jobs. And I was like, right, okay, I'll move it. So I get into the motorhome, forgot I'd parked the hire car. I was trying to hide it from the woman from BSB. And I'm really sorry that I forgot her name, because it's a lovely one. I just had it.
Was it Jane? Was Jane still there? Or the new one?
The new lady.
I can't remember her name. It could be. Stefan is the fella.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure.
It was my birthday the other day. It was my birthday. And I went into the motorhome and put in the reversal camera for some reason, like had glitch. I'm reversing back. Shanky, is you're hitting something? I was like, we can't be in anything. Bloody hire car, wasn't it? Right, and it had a tow bar in the motorhome. And say this is like the 2 doors, like shut and shut.
Yeah, the pillar.
In the middle.
The pillar in the middle, yeah.
I nailed it. And I think I can't remember if I had rated it off. We were going back to Heathrow for some reason. took it back, didn't get built for it, right? Didn't get built. My dad had this tiniest mark in his hire car, and he could build like 800 quid. I was like, we definitely seen yours or seen mine after, and they were looking for something silly on yours, and you get done. But yeah, no, I've got better on that season as well. First time, 2017, first time I rented a car on the left hand side, or in Spain, you drove in the right hand side. You drive in Spain, right?
Left.
Left. Oh yeah, you're in the left, but you're driving
On the right.
yeah. So I rented
a long day.
I rented this car, and me and Charlie King, you know Charlie King?
Alpine Stars.
Yeah, well, now he works for Erda, but yeah, it's Charlie. So me and Charlie are good mates, and I meet him in Alicante airport. Off we go, get the hire car, go on the MotoGP. It was the Vizioso Marc Marquez for the championship, and off we get into the car. I'm not joking. I done 150 meters, and I wiped the right hand side out of it because I forgot about that side. Hit the wing mirror, hit everything, and I was the only one I got away with. There's plenty that I haven't got away with.
So there's still a little bit of luck in there for you, Andrew.
A
little bit of luck in there.
Honestly, it's the joys in it.
Brilliant, mate. I have thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it.
Thank you very much for having me, and I've really enjoyed doing it.
Thank you, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Irwin.